Today I'm going to show you Sitecore Publishing Service in action. I will show you how easily you can do publishing of the large items. I will show you the easiest way of installing Publishing Service into your development web box, and I will also show you the interface differences between classical publishing and Sitecore Publishing Service. So for those who are not familiar with Sitecore, what publishing means is that traditionally you have a Sitecore interface. This is what you see on my screen. This is content editor, and there are some other interfaces like experience editor. Now we have Horizon. You have different tool sets, toolboxes, media library. So everything you use to manage the content is basically your Sitecore. And Sitecore lives and resides on CM server, where CM stands for content management. So usually it operates against master database, and master database is where you have all the versions of all the items in all the languages. And when you do what we call publishing, basically Sitecore takes the latest version of a specific item for a specific language and copies it into another database, which is called web by default, and that is database from which a real published website operates. It's a smaller database, so it doesn't want to contain all the languages and versions. So if you take a look at my screen, I am now operating that web database, and I have a vanilla Sitecore, so there is nothing under content node. This is just default home item which comes out of the box. And let's switch to master database, where I have a demo website installed. This is SXA website, this is demo site, and I have plenty of things under it. So many pages, sub-pages. This is Habitat website, which is very nice for showing the Sitecore features. So in any case, this is master database with the stuff to be published, and web database has nothing. So before going ahead, I will show you how traditional publishing works. So I'll take an item, update it, save, and would want to publish it. So this is a classical interface. You are familiar with that one. If I click publish, so what happens now, it publishes, and this is actually my CM server that does publishing. So far so good, but what the problem is, when I am doing a large volumes of publishing, first of all, CM server publishes them on per item basis, which is very expensive and very slow. So it basically uses Sitecore API and all these levels of abstraction to go for each of the item and copy it into web database, which is not the ideal way. Another problem is that CM server is doing that operation itself, and that takes much of the resources from your CM box, and these may affect your other content editors, especially when you are doing large publishing and you may want to publish several thousands of items. In that case, this takes quite a long period of time, and publishing queue gets stuck with that. So no one else is able to publish. They just have to wait until publishing queue gets reallocated, and only then their tasks go to publishing. So altogether, three problems combined, they make it not a convenient solution, especially on the real websites which are up and running for quite a large volumes of data. So for that purpose, Sitecore Publishing Service was introduced, and in fact Publishing Service is a separate .NET Core application which resides outside of your Sitecore, so it does not eat resources of your Sitecore box. Of course, on development instance, this is still your development machine where you have XP0 topology, but when it comes to the cloud, it will be residing on a separate web app outside of your CM server, which means your CM server will not get affected. And when you do publish, when you click publish, what happens inside of Sitecore? It does not do anything rather than delegating the task to Publishing Service. Namely, it says, here are the items I would want you to go and publish from CM database, from master database to web database. And moreover, what happens is that Publishing Service, it does not do publishing as traditional publishing does. It operates in batches, so it directly goes into master database, takes the items and directly writes them into web database, bypassing Sitecore API, bypassing everything. So it's just raw bulk data copying from one database into another, but intelligent one, so that it knows which items to copy and which dependencies to copy. So far so good. I will now show you how easy you can install Publishing Service with Siphon. So what Siphon is, this is a maintenance tool for Sitecore. I created it myself from the scratch, and it is available with different ways. It's available from Chocolatey gallery, just in one line. You do Choco install Siphon and you get the latest version. You can also download it from the website. Here is it, along with the rest of documentation. So that's pretty much of use cases and everything. So far so good. Siphon has a rich plugin library, and one of the plugins, it does exactly what I want. It installs Sitecore Publishing Service, and you can install it to different versions of your Sitecore CM server. So let's do that. It will anyway install 4.3.0 for service, but for the module which will be installed directly to your Sitecore, you have a choice. I'm currently running 9.3.0. This is the one I select, and basically that's it. I have nothing else to do. And if you see downloading both module and service from Sitecore repositories, this is where all Sitecore packages, data, and binaries and the rest of resources are located. Now it is installing service. It changes connection strings, and it does all the plumbing under the bottom, does care about certificates, and so far so good. Now it is installing Sitecore module directly into my Sitecore, and it may take a while because it will likely to restart application pool, but as soon as it finishes, Publishing Service will be ready to use on my development box, and I will be happy to demonstrate its in action. Okay, we've done. Siphon has finished, and now I would want to publish the whole tenant, so everything I have here will be copied to web database. So let's select tenant and go publish item. So the first thing you will see is that interface has changed. It's not more a classical interface you got used to, but instead you see something different. This is the one substituted by publishing module, and I select all languages, publish to web database, sub items, related items. Yeah, so far so good. And I click publish. So what happens next is it tells me that publishing job has been moved to queue successfully, and this happens instead of actually doing publish. It knocks to the publishing service and asks publishing service to do the job for me. And if you look into IIS management console, you will see that now I have this publishing service. Once again, I want to highlight this is my dev box, so I have all the websites sitting together, but in your higher environments like pre-production, production, you will have it as a separate web box in Asia, or you will have it as a separate container in case you are using Docker and Sitecore 10. So let's see publishing dashboard. This is my task. The status is completed, and it has been done almost immediately, despite there are 4,000 items, but they were copied from master to web database next to immediate. And I can prove you that if I go to web database, you will be able to see these tenant and the children items and all the dependencies there as well. So we are now on the web database, and here we go. All the items are here. More than 4,000 of items have been copied just less than in 1 second, comparing to maybe half an hour copying them by traditional way. And moreover, that does not affect any of other users, any of resources on the CM server. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I also hope you like Siphon, which really helps you doing many managerial tasks and maintenance for your Sitecore instances. Thank you very much.